In today's video, I'll be going through the WestJet flight attending hiring process. I will provide some resources and sample questions that you will be asked during the virtual interview and the face-to-face interview. So I did reach out to some WestJet recruiters and actual people who sat through the WestJet interview, some of them hired, some of them not hired as flight attendants, to really understand what kind of questions and what is the exact process when you apply to WestJet to become a flight attendant. So number one, I will go over the application process. Number two, virtual interview. Number three, we'll explore the group interview. Number four, we'll explore the face-to-face interview. Number five, the in-flight training process. Number six, we'll go over the drug and background checks required to join WestJet. Number seven, the travel and benefits provided to flight attendants. And finally, number eight, I will go over sample questions. These are actual questions that will be asked during the interview process. As I mentioned, I did reach out to hiring managers and I did reach out to candidates who did sit through the interview, and these were questions that were asked during the process, okay? So number one, the application process. So the application process starts online right here. So you would land on the cabin crew page. You can explore what's required here, but you'll find all that information in this video. And then when you click on current opportunities, so let me give you an example of a job that is posted for flight operations. So here WestJet is hiring a pilot. So if this was the actual job listed for a flight attendant, you would do the exact same thing. You would click on the job listing, you would click apply. At this point, you will be asked to sign in and set up a profile. Now I have set up a dummy profile here, which once you get in, you can actually go through right here and you will be able to upload your resume and fill out your external work experience, formal education, your certifications and licenses. The certifications and licenses and education and all that and work experience and all that will be different per job. So that's something to keep in mind, but that essentially is the application process. Now, once you pass this application process, what comes next? Well, let's take a look. Once your application has been submitted, it will be viewed by the recruiters who will then invite you for a virtual interview in the form of a HireVue. What is HireVue? HireVue is a video interviewing platform that uses AI to help companies screen and hire candidates. It can be used for interviewing, screening, and onboarding. So essentially, the process starts by WestJet sending you a virtual interview link to your email, okay? And then the candidate will record themselves answering the questions on the link. So there's no one sitting there on the other end of the screen. A question will pop up. You'll have some time to answer that question. And once you've answered that question, you hit submit. Well, let's see what people have said about this. The process was through HireVue, which is basically where you read the question and answer it. They also had practice questions that weren't recorded, but where you can practice answering while being on video. There were 6 interview questions. You have 30 seconds to prepare and a maximum of 3 minutes to reply. You have a break between questions for as long as you want if needed. So from what I've gathered, here are the questions you should prepare yourself to answer when you're invited for the HireVue interview. Some of them are, can you tell me about yourself? Do you have a valid passport? Why are you interested in this role? Why are you interested in working for WestJet? What excites you the most about this position? Describe this role in your own words. What is a work challenge that you faced and how did you overcome it? Describe a scenario where you had to put safety first, whether in public or at work. What is your most difficult customer service experience? And can you tell me about a time you had to challenge at work? Now, these are some of the questions that can be asked. I think they ask around 6 questions, okay? I also want to let you know that I've answered every single one of these questions in my hiring guide, okay, which you can find a link to in the description below. Now, during the group interview, which is the next phase, so if you pass the HireVue interview, you will be invited for a group interview, okay? But if you don't pass it, your candidacy will be terminated at that point. WestJet group interviews may include icebreakers, discussions about random topics, and exercises that evaluate candidates' ability to work in a team. Group interviews are used to evaluate candidates' communication skills, ability to work in a team, and creativity. For example, candidates may participate in an icebreaker to get to know each other. Candidates may be asked to stand in front of the group and discuss a random topic. And candidates may be asked to work in a group to create an idea or solve a problem. Now here's what somebody had to say about the group interview. Group interview, to start with, icebreaker. In a small group, we had several minutes to create an idea for a WestJet commercial. We then had to stand at the front of the room and talk about a random subject we pulled out of a hat. If you're successful, you have to do a one-on-one interview. Now here's another one. Hey there, the group orientation was pretty chilled out. Everyone was having fun and get to know each other. One advice I can give is don't stress about it even a little bit. It's just an informative session where they'll be showing presentations and sharing details about the airline and what to expect when you become a flight attendant. In the end, there will be a group activity where you'll be divided into groups and given a situation. You just need to present what you'll do in that situation. That's all. And finally, here's another one. Hello there. I have recently appeared for the group orientation last week in YYC. So YYC, I believe, is Calgary. One advice I can give is don't stress about it even a tiny bit. It's just an informative session where they'll show you presentations about the WestJet culture and what to expect as a cabin crew. In the end of the presentation, there will be a group activity where you'll be divided into groups and each group will be given a situation. You just need to present your views on that situation and that's it. Nothing serious. Just be yourself. Have fun, make friends, ask questions and get noticed. It's your chance to showcase how you can stand out from the crowd. They will ask you to pick a word or a sentence in a box and you need to talk about it for 1 minute in front of the group. Now, if you pass the group session, you will be invited for a face-to-face interview. A WestJet flight attendant face-to-face interview typically involves a structured set of questions focusing on your customer service skills, ability to handle stressful situations, teamwork, and knowledge of safety procedures, with a strong emphasis on behavioral questions about past experiences where you demonstrated these qualities. Expect to be asked about your understanding of WestJet's culture and values, and may include a brief language test if bilingual. The interview is likely to be conducted by a panel of interviewers and could also involve a group activity to assess your communication and problem-solving skills in a team setting. These questions, from what I understand, will be in the form of a STAR method, so situational, task, action, and result. Now, just to let you know, I've compiled a list of all these questions that were asked during the face-to-face interview, and I've included that in the hiring guide. Again, you can find a link to that in the description below, okay? Now, here's what somebody had to say about the face-to-face interview. Mine was just a one-on-one for like 40-ish minutes or so with the recruiter. They asked me the same behavioral questions that are typical for a flight attendant role. I got very lucky because there wasn't even any other person waiting for an interview, oddly enough. Here's hoping I did well. And somebody else had to say the face-to-face interview was slightly intense as the interviewer wrote down everything I said. She had 2 to 3 pages of questions, about 10 to 12, which were all common. One part included reading a mock in-flight announcement. The toughest question in my opinion was, tell me 2 things you want to change about yourself. She also asked if I had any visible tattoos. I wasn't sure how much was visible, but mine is slightly noticeable. The interview lasted about 25 to 30 minutes. And here's another testimonial. Most casual interview I've ever had. I got the hint that they might want to hire me. The same day, about 2 hours later, I got a phone call telling me that I had passed and that they wanted to conduct a language test, a criminal background check, and reference check. About 3 days later, I received another call informing me that I had been given a conditional acceptance. To pass the conditional acceptance, you need to complete a drug test and a POE test, which is a medical exam for WestJet. I just completed everything and passed. Training for WestJet Encore starts on July 9th. The process was very quick for me and I'm very happy with the outcome. Good luck to everyone who is trying. Congratulations. So if you pass the face-to-face interview, you will be invited for the in-flight training process. WestJet's flight attendant training process is a comprehensive and intense course designed to prepare candidates for the multifaceted responsibilities of a cabin crew member. The training spans approximately 4 to 6 weeks and is conducted on a full-time basis. So what's exactly covered in this training? Well, safety procedures, in-depth instruction on safety protocols, emergency equipment operation, and evacuation procedures to ensure passengers' well-being. You'll also get first aid training, so training in medical emergency response, including first aid techniques and the use of onboard medical equipment. You'll also become familiar with aircrafts, detailed knowledge of aircraft systems, configurations, and specific features pertaining to WestJet's fleet. You'll also learn about service excellence, which is emphasis on delivering exceptional customer service, including meal and beverage service, handling passenger inquiries, and managing various in-flight situations, and regulatory compliance, understanding and adherence to aviation regulations and company policies to maintain operational standards. And finally, you'll also go through a few assessment and certification. Throughout the training, participants undergo evaluations to assess their proficiency in both practical skills and theoretical knowledge. Successful completion of the program is mandatory for official certification as a WestJet flight attendant. Trainees receive compensation during the training period, reflecting WestJet's commitment to supporting its new hires as they transition into their roles. So what about the drug and background checks? So in order for you to join the WestJet flight attendant team, you need to complete and pass a criminal background check, complete and pass a functional physical assessment to ensure you are able to meet the physical demands of the role. I guess that means stretching up, getting luggage from the compartments above, lifting, pushing the cart, and you'll also need to complete and pass a pre-employment drug and alcohol screening test, okay? Now, what are some of the travel and benefits? After 180 days of employment, employees are eligible to contribute up to 20% of their base salary to their WestJet savings plan, and the WestJet Group will match this amount dollar for dollar. WestJet Anchor employees are eligible to contribute 10%. You also get flexible benefits. We offer a flexible health and wellness benefit plan for full-time and part-time employees, which qualifies you for basic benefits coverage. Pilots and some specialty roles are eligible for benefit coverage from day one. Owner's Performance Award. Owner's Performance Award is paid out to all employees once a year based on our ability to hit or exceed targets for 4 key indicators in the business, including safety, on-time performance, guest experience, and cost. And profit sharing. This is exceptional because not a lot of airlines offer this. The WestJet Group has an employee profit sharing plan where eligible employees can receive a bonus based on our pre-tax operating income. Profit sharing is based on the WestJet Group's profit margin, paid out twice a year in May and November. The WestJet Group offers flight privileges within 10 days of employment. You and your designates can fly anywhere WestJet or WestJet Anchor fly, standby on an unlimited basis for 0 base fare plus applicable taxes and fees. After 6 months of employment, you can fly with our partner airlines for a reduced base fare on standby. Each employee receives a defined number of standby buddy passes per year, prorated after 180 days, which can be gifted and 8 one-way 50% off confirmed flights. How about career progression? Here are just some of the career path opportunities you can pursue at the WestJet Group. Crew support coordinator, crew scheduler, development and performance manager, training instructor. Each employee's career path is unique and we cannot guarantee timing for growth opportunities. We encourage development and growth, and your leader will support you with your path. So now let's look at some of the questions you will be asked during the interview. Now, these are the questions I've been able to collect online through communities as well as reaching out to recruiters to see what they had to say about some of the questions you should be prepared for when you're invited in for an interview. So there are 19 questions, out of which 10 to 12 will be asked during your interview. I've answered every single one of them, starting with how to answer them, and provided you a high converting sample answer in the WestJet hiring guide that I have created for you. You can find the link in the description below. So here are 16 of them right here. Some of the questions are: tell me about your previous experience, which is number 1. Number 4, what is your most difficult customer service experience? Number 10, what motivated you the most to perform at your best? Number 12, what are some of the challenges flight attendants face on the job? Number 15, a passenger came up to you and was upset about the delay long haul and he was going to miss his connecting flight. How would you respond or handle this situation? Number 16, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Some of the other questions covered in the guide are: do you have any questions for me or for us? When answering number 17, I do provide you with some questions you could ask the recruiter to really make you stand out as a candidate. And number 19, tell me about a time you encountered a safety compromise situation and what did you do? So to give you an example of how I've structured each question and answer, let's look at about 1 or 2. So the first one: why do you want to become a flight attendant? So the hiring managers want to assess your understanding of the role and your genuine passion for the job. They're also looking for a match between your motivation and the values of the airline. I've always been passionate about providing excellent customer service in dynamic environments. The idea of being a flight attendant appeals to me because it's more than just a job. It's an opportunity to ensure guests have an exceptional travel experience. I love working with people from all walks of life and thrive on problem solving and thinking on my feet, which are critical in this role. The diversity of each day as a flight attendant excites me. The travel, meeting new people, and facing new challenges while maintaining a safe and welcoming atmosphere on board. Most importantly, I'm motivated by creating positive experiences that passengers will remember long after their flight. I believe being a flight attendant is the perfect combination of my love for travel, my customer service experience, and my desire to be part of a cohesive, safety-focused team. Let's look at another one, question number 2. You are walking down the aisle and notice a guest that is drunk and being loud. What would you do in that situation? Well, this question is asked to gauge your conflict resolution and safety management skills. Flight attendants are responsible for ensuring a safety and pleasant flight experience, which means handling disruptive passengers calmly and effectively. The hiring team wants to see how you balance de-escalation with enforcing safety protocols, all while maintaining professionalism. Your ability to remain composed and decisive in high-pressure situations is crucial in this role. If I noticed a guest who appeared intoxicated and was being loud, my first step would be to calmly assess the situation to determine the level of disruption and whether the guest posed a safety risk. I would approach with a friendly but firm demeanor, asking how they were feeling and offering water to help them stay hydrated. If the behavior persisted, I would politely remind the guest of our policies regarding in-flight behavior and the importance of maintaining a calm environment for the comfort of all passengers. Throughout the interaction, I would maintain a non-confrontational tone to avoid escalation while keeping my colleagues informed. If necessary, I would escalate the matter to the lead flight attendant or captain, ensuring the situation was documented. Safety is always the top priority, and my goal would be to resolve the situation calmly and discreetly, minimizing disruption for other passengers. So great, these are just 2 of the types of questions you will be asked during your WestJet flight attendant interview. There are possible 19 questions that you can be asked, some of them during the virtual interview and some of them during the face-to-face interview. Now, below I have provided a link that when you click that link, you will be brought to this WestJet guide right here where you'll find all 19 interview questions and sample answers. As you scroll down over here, you will be able to find a link here where you can support my channel. And when you do support my channel, you will be taken to a page that you can download this guide where I start by describing how to answer each question and provide you with a high converting sample answer, okay? Remember, you only get one chance to ace your interview, so go in prepared with these 19 sample questions and high converting answers you can use right now during your interview. Good luck, keep your head up, and keep smiling.